What's up, Leo? Let's see what the messages are for the next 48 hours. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Leo placements. All right, you guys got the Nine of Cups, Three of Pentacles, the Fool, Ace of Swords. Then you guys have the Four of Cups, Justice, Four Swords. You guys might finally be putting some sort of stressful situation to rest. It feels like if something hasn't worked out for you in the recent past with that Four of Cups, it feels like now you guys are getting justice. So you go from like worrying about something to relaxing is what it looks like. So something could have come to like an abrupt end. This is like if you were having issues at home with your partner and it's like all you guys did was just fight, and like now it just feels like there's a truce. And so that's what this energy is coming to the surface here. It just feels like whatever didn't turn out, it's like now there's either a truce, it's over, or you've already worked through it. So I feel like there's a level of completion here when it comes to a situation, person, place, or thing that just was not, I'm hearing not the business, not the vibes, okay? Next 48 hours, you got the Nine of Cups. You guys could be drinking in the next 48 hours. You could be going out, maybe celebrating, but I do see here that you guys could be drinking. Also, too, wish fulfillment. Something here in your life is finally falling into place. And so it feels like you're able to kind of like sit back and bask and enjoy whatever this is. Again, this could be correlated to the initial spread that we just did here, but it just feels like whatever it is you guys are doing in the next 48, it's not as bad. This is like if you this is like you've already been through the worst case scenario. Nothing could be as bad as what you just went through, and so everything else is a breeze at what it feels like. It feels like just like the winds in your hair. So I do feel like in the next 48 you're just kind of like enjoying something that used to be complicated, while other people could be panicking around you. You're like, this is nothing. And so moving forward, it feels like in the next 48 hours you're just like, man, like this is a dream come true. It's like someone's like, oh my god, this is my biggest problem. You're like, that's not a problem, like I've been through worse. So there's something here about that. Okay, Three of Pentacles, you could be hanging out with friends, you could be meeting new coworkers, maybe you're starting a new job somewhere, but this does feel like new collaboration for sure. You could be visiting someone, or you could be hanging out with someone that you that is a friend but that you consider family. There's something here about music. You could be sharing music with someone in the next 48 hours. But whatever this is, it just feels like you're collaborating well with people in the next 48. So this is like if you start a new job, you're getting along really well with your new coworkers or with your new employees, okay? So I do feel like everybody's on the same page in the next 48 hours, making your life that much easier. With the Fool here, some of you guys are starting a new job. Some of you guys are starting a new venture. Some of you guys could be moving or just moved. It feels like wherever you are, it's brand new. So you guys could be exploring as well, which is why you could be meeting new people, whether this is at the workplace or like your neighbors or something like that. Yeah, you guys could be meeting new neighbors. But I do see here that like the next 48, again, you guys are feeling light, okay? And it goes hand in hand with that Nine of Cups. Like I said, it's like everything's a breeze in the next 48 hours. So I feel like I know for a minute there you guys were getting in a little rough, but it does feel like things are starting to ease out for you, especially in these next 48. All right, and Ace of Swords, clarity. I feel like you guys have learned some lessons here. You guys might have just come out of a hectic cycle. This could have lasted anywhere from like the last 2 to 6 months. But it feels like you finally have the clarity that you need in order to move about smoothly, okay? So this is you trying not to repeat any patterns from the past, anything that was creating any kind of turbulence for you in the last, what are we, August? So anything that's kind of like wrapped itself up in the last 6-7 months, it feels like in the next 48 you're like, okay, I don't want to do that again, I don't want to do that. So it's almost like the Seven of Cups I'm seeing. So the way you go about something, you're going to go about it completely different, because you're like, well, I tried it this way and this was a headache, I tried it that way and that was a headache. So it just feels like you guys are using the wisdom that you have developed over time, especially over this last several months, because you don't want to finish out the year the way you started it. So a lot of you guys right now, you're like in high spirits, higher alignment. I feel like, again, you see things for what they are. You see people for who they are. And so moving forward, you're like, yeah, I'm not really going to let anything bother me. So again, it's like some of you guys are trading in the sword for a flower, right? Again, just very like easygoing. Um, and that's because you guys have developed this sense of wisdom from these past cycles where you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. You know, you're like, yep, nope, we're cutting that out. And this is justice too, by the way. Like, if life is getting easier for you, especially in these next 48, take it as like confirmation of Spirit's way of saying, like, listen, we know we put you through the ringer, but you made it out the other end, so you can relax, is what I'm hearing. You can relax. So that's what I have for you, Leo. Hopefully this helps and resonates. I'll catch you in the next one.